Good morning, friends. It's Thursday morning, and I'm gonna see how many meals I can show you this week. So this morning for breakfast, there was muffins they made yesterday, buckwheat flour with blackberries. They used up some kefir and some cream that were a little strong, so that's always nice. They also used 4 eggs, and we are swimming in eggs these days. Some kids had yogurt too. Homemade yogurt from our cow's milk with our favorite Gateway Farm maple syrup and some homemade granola. There was coffee too, lots of coffee and tea. While I'm doing some mama work here, the kids have been making themselves some lunch. Let's see, Freya's just got buttered toast. What'd you make?
I fried some eggs and buttered some Easter bread.
Yep, so they've got some sourdough challah bread, and Mac has made himself nachos with some homemade cheese. He just made them in the toaster oven. We don't have a microwave, we use a toaster oven, so it's really helpful for this sort of thing. I ended up eating a really late breakfast. I kind of got going on stuff and didn't eat breakfast when the kids were eating breakfast, so I ate a huge bowl of yogurt and granola just an hour ago. So I'm not having lunch right now. I'm taking advantage of time when Rowan is napping and Amos is sleeping in here. Marius is working outside. He's having troubles with electrical, so he's just trying to get that sorted so that we can move our little chicks outside so we no longer have little chicks in the basement. It's 5 o'clock. I'm about to start some mac and cheese for dinner, but we have some tea in the meantime. We're big tea drinkers. I made one that, let's see here. We were just sorting potatoes. I got dirt under my fingernails, sorting out seed. So this one is on the blog. I'll link it. It's green tea with raspberry and hibiscus. It's so good. I have a mug of that. And then the kids made a pot of this, which we call honey tea cow juice. It's a herbal flower tea blend. So we're just having some tea to hold us over until dinner. Well, I completely forgot to show you the meals yesterday, but apparently my bread dough overrose, and I'm guessing Mac put the extra into here.
Yep, it was all around the edges.
Oh dear, this is my soft sourdough master recipe, and it got real excited.
All down the edges, but I picked it up and put it in there.
Rowan, woo, gentle, let's close the fridge nicely. Yesterday we had leftover Big Dutch babies for breakfast. Mac is cooking sausages for breakfast. Maybe I'll do a quick pot of oatmeal to go with it. Lunch yesterday was a repeat, nachos and fried eggs and toast, depending on who you were.
There was no nachos yesterday.
What did you have for lunch yesterday? I thought you had nachos.
I had a salami and some hash.
Oh, Mac had salami and crackers, cheese. Dinner we had leftover mashed potatoes and big game round sticks. I'm making a big batch of chili tonight for dinner, as well as apple pie. So I was shopping in my freezer, and I got out 2 bags of frozen apples. These are when I got tired of canning and ran out of canning jars and such for making apple pie filling. I just froze sliced apples, we don't peel them, with some lemon juice. These were not keeper apples. I have canned tomatoes for chili. These were raw packs, so they always sink down so much. Some onions and garlic, some zucchini to hide in the chili as well, some celery. I didn't want to bring up the whole big bag of chopped celery, so I just dumped some in this empty honey bucket. We got a whole bunch of celery. I don't know if you guys remember this. When Marius came home with cases of produce that had been partially frozen, so I froze a bunch of sliced celery, and we are still going on that. So much celery. More tomatoes, and then some home canned baked beans to go in the chili. These are ones that I didn't add enough liquid to. I didn't make them saucy enough, so they're still perfectly safe and canned well and all that. They're just not as saucy as I normally like baked beans, so putting them in chili is a great use. I'm also gonna throw a jar of salsa in the chili, because we have lots of salsa. And I'm using some ground mousse. So away I go. I'm never without good helpers who are happy to eat the last of the apples tossed in sugar from the galettes. They decided to add lots of extra cinnamon, and you better believe they were licking the bowl. The marvelous sourdough I baked is all out of the oven. We had leftover mac and cheese with ham and peas for lunch, and these cute boats are for decorating for a boat race. Some loaves of sourdough as well for sandwiches and toast, and my big cauldron of chili on the go. It's Sunday now, and for breakfast we had leftover apple galette. Now Mac is working on potatoes and sausages for us to have for lunch before the boat races. The flotilla has come.
The flotilla.
Who's in the lead? Oh, it's Papa!
Oh no.
Baba. Oh, somebody else. That's Rowan. Rowan's in the lead.
Oh, Zoe's got stuck.
No. I'm stuck.
Oh, whose is up there? I unintentionally made a much bigger pot of mac and cheese than I intended, so here we are eating it for the third time in as many days. Luckily, it's delicious with lots of homemade cheeses, homegrown ham, and rice noodles. As for sweet baby Amos, we're still figuring out what formula agrees best with him. None have been bad, but I can tell they're not 100% yet. So we're slowly figuring that out. But overall, he's a pretty contented, happy little guy as long as you just keep feeding him often. Marius and I both enjoy coffee in the morning, but we take our coffee differently. I love maple syrup in mine, whereas Marius likes my homemade hot chocolate mix for a kind of mocha type drink. Raw milk, good coffee, dark roast, fair trade are non-negotiables in our house. Whoever isn't on the couch with the baby makes coffee for both. So today's my turn. I kind of got breakfast going for the kids and made some coffee before going to sit down and chat with Marius while we plan our day. Breakfast was toast with peanut butter and honey and bananas. Since I grocery shopped a few days ago, we have some fresh fruit. Now it's nap time for the little squirrel who had a little run-in with a piece of wood outside. She has a bottle of raw milk before she gets tucked into bed. Kefir grains needed to be fed, so I fished them out, dumped the finished kefir into the blender, added fresh milk, raw milk, to my kefir grains, and then fed my sourdough starter, which I'm very relaxed about. I don't measure or weigh anything. I just want it to be about muffin batter consistency. Then I fished out whatever fruit was in the freezer up here. It was only bananas and strawberries today. I don't take the tops off of my strawberries. They're good local ones. I just freeze them. The blender was so full I made a hot mess of pouring that. But it was smoothies, and then Mac's going to make some popcorn, and then it's time for Mama to get to work. Smoothies and popcorn is a fairly regular meal around our house for lunch. It's fast, nothing needs to be thawed or really cooked, and easy and crowd-pleasing. Pad thai for dinner, and we're doubling the scrambled eggs because we have so many eggs these days, friends. I'm at the end of these bottles, but I purposefully left a little bit left in the big jugs, even though I have smaller ones, in case I use up the smaller ones before I've bought more, I know I still have a little bit of backup. We got all the toppings ready. Got my recipe from my blog, which is a well-loved recipe in our house. Marius is helping me. We've got the eggs, chicken, homegrown chicken. He's about to fry up some little shrimp. I've got a Rowan who is tired and ready for dinner. This is a meal loved by our whole family. It's so fun. It's all in the prep. There's so much prep involved, but then it comes together really fast. I make a double batch, which is huge. It feeds our family 2 to 3 meals. And I love the leftovers. That's part of the best part of pad thai. Breakfast time. We got homemade yogurt, jam, peaches, granola, lovely bowls for everyone to make how they want. Rowan could not wait for anybody else for breakfast this morning. She was so hungry. She was done before anybody else was even ready to sit down to breakfast from chores. I forgot to show you the other meals, but we had leftover chili, and I don't even know what they ate for lunch. I was on a Zoom call. It's Wednesday morning, and Mac is making hash browns. I've got some applesauce warming up. It's a pretty thick applesauce there, but delicious. We're going to fry some eggs to have with the potatoes as well, and some sausages thrown in. Both Marius and Mac love to cook a breakfast like this, so we are spoiled by them. Got some lovely coffee. It is Wednesday. Lunch is probably going to be leftover pad thai. For dinner, I have some homegrown pork chops out. I'm going to throw those in a quick brine, which is just salt, sugar, and water. I don't measure anything. It makes it so they stay nice and moist because pork chops really have a tendency to dry out. So I just throw them in the brine and they sit in the brine and it works great.
Okay, braided.
Yes, Frey did lots of drawing on that package. And then I've got a bucket of potatoes, Siglinda's unwashed from our root cellar. So I'm gonna wash them. I'm gonna throw them in the Instant Pot. Mac wants oven fries, but I got a big work day ahead of me, so Mama needs easy. So I'm gonna throw these in the Instant Pot. 10 minutes on pressure cook, and then they will revert to keep warm, and then they will stay warm and perfect until dinner. And then at dinner time, we will just take out those potatoes, serve them with some lovely homegrown grass-fed butter. There is no filter on that. That is just how amazing the cow's butter is. Let's see, I just refreshed kefir and fed sourdough. I hard-boiled a bunch of eggs, and that's kind of what's going on in here. When I was getting potatoes, I got out some apple pie filling. Maybe we need to have an apple pie. That sounds good to me. Or maybe I'll make an apple crisp.
Pie.
Either way, that's what's going on in food in here today. And since it's Wednesday, that means I've shown you a whole week. I managed to show you a whole week of food. So there you go. Hope this gave you some lovely inspiration. And we'll see you. We'll catch you on the flip side. Oh, one last thing. Marius saw those hard-boiled eggs and quickly snagged some to make himself some deviled eggs, which is what they're there for. Sweet baby Amos keeping him company in his basket.